Hey gun people, gonna do a video here on car chases, police pursuits, failure to yield, some of the things that they're called, and we're gonna talk about them. So let's oh, let me turn my little screen here. I can see what the hell I'm doing over here. So, my pointer, my trusty broken shovel. Car chases! Oh, I also get a lot of questions about my knife. What do I think? How do I like the knife? Since I had it for a while, I did a video on it. Man, I love this stinking knife. I'm telling you, this is it cuts good. The only real complaint I probably have about this knife is because of the little hook that gets caught, if you stick your hand in your pocket kind of quick, you get caught on that hook. So it's kind of a pain. I just kind of keep things in this pocket. If I want to keep something in that pocket, I keep it in this pocket. So, but other than that, man, this thing, and the more I use it, the more I pull it out, the easier it snaps open really quick. But I'm telling you, this will keep just about anybody off you. I just can't imagine somebody having one of these in their hand and having somebody get up on them without getting cut up and retreating and saying, you know what? I'm not going to attack this guy. Every time I reach in or come close, I'm getting stabbed or cut. And because of the little ring, you're not going to drop it, even if your hand gets bloody. But anyway, I've had a couple questions on what I think of the knife. I still like it. Search the video. I can't remember what the name of it is. Shit, whatever. Anyway, we're talking about car chases. So, and I just got an email from somebody about this, and it kind of sparked a couple things about it. So let's first talk about the reasons why cops chase people. There's really only one reason. They run. They're like, you can't. There's case law that says cops cannot chase pedestrians just because they run. You have to have a crime. Well, when it gets to a vehicle pursuit, if I turn on my lights and you flee, that's a crime. So now I can chase you. So the reason that you can't chase people who just run, because there's a lot of people that see the cops and they run. And cops used to be able to chase them, tell them, stop, what are you running, what are you up to, you shouldn't be running from the cops. And now we've got all PC and friendly, and we don't want to harass the criminals and the illegals and the people committing crimes. So now we can't chase people just for running. Now, I know I'm kind of on the fence on this, because everything yin and yang, good and bad. Should government have the right to be able to start detaining people? No, but I mean, at 2 o'clock in the morning, if I see somebody and they're running, they're probably up to no good. Should government be able to contact them? I mean, you got to give up something for some security, but you don't want to give up all security for freedom. I mean, look, I get it. I'm just telling you. You can't chase people just because they run. Now, most cops will start chasing people and say, I had an offense. And whatever the offense is, they have to articulate it and say. I recognize the guy as possibly being on a wanted list. I would carry 20 pictures in my visors of the baddest dudes in our area that were wanted, that we'd get these posters saying, hey, this guy's in the West Sacramento area. He's wanted for, 187 murder, whatever. Gang shooting, whatever it is. I would always keep those guys' pictures. And if I was driving around and I saw somebody, I'd pull those out and go, that guy kind of looks like this guy. Now I have a reason to stop him. And I know, you bootleg cops are just stomping on the Constitution. Look, it is what it is. I was out to catch bad guys. I got a lot of bad guys. And, I got a lot of guns. I got a lot of dope. I got a lot of bad guys off the road. So my tactics work. Was I out there harassing honest citizens and I think being a bootleg cop? I don't think I was. Most decent people that weren't breaking the law liked me and thought I was a pretty good cop. Crooks hated me and didn't want me around them, and they didn't want to be around me, which I'm okay with. Einstein said, it's not good when everybody likes you. It's better when good people like you and bad people don't. So, this popularity and wanting everybody to like you, I don't buy it. So, the reasons why most cops chase cars is they run. They fail to stop. Once a cop lights you up, he's stopping you, he's exerting his authority, he's saying, I'm detaining you for this offense. Now, sometimes, I'm going to back up another guy and I light somebody up And they floor it, take off, and start going around corners. And I'm like, shit, well, I'm not going to back him up now. I'm chasing this knucklehead. What's he up to? And you know what, maybe a stolen car. I can't remember if I got a stolen car that way, but plenty of times I got a wreck and a guy running, or they stop and some dude jumps out and they're throwing shit out the window. And I wasn't even stopping him. I just wanted him to pull over so I could get. Now, I'm not saying I ever did this, but if cops wanted to late at night when they didn't have nothing to do, they could just turn on their lights and see if people pull over or run. And if they run, they could chase them. And if they pulled over, they could just drive by them. I'm not saying that I ever did it or that it's ever done by any cop, but for cops who are bored at night, it might be a good little experiment to try. He's out there trying to burn the Constitution. All right, policy dictate how you can chase somebody, whether or not you can chase somebody. Now, different agencies have different policies. There are some liberal cities that say we have a no pursuit policy. If people run, you do not pursue. Now, in some ways, I agree with that. And I only agree with it because a lot of times when we chase people, innocent people get hurt. And it's bullshit. And I've seen too many damn people get hurt and maimed and have their whole life destroyed because we're chasing some knucklehead for a misdemeanor warrant, or he's got a bag of weed or some shit in his pocket that probably wouldn't even arrested him any damn way. And he starts running, and you get in this big pursuit, and now we're justified because if he didn't do nothing wrong, he wouldn't be running. So then he must really have something bad. So if you run from the cops, most cops are going to chase you. And they're going to be justified because not a lot of places have the policy of a no pursuit policy. The places that have a policy of no pursuit, people don't get hurt for pursuits. Well, Rick, there you have it. There's the answer. Well, the flip side of that is the places that have a no pursuit policy have a whole bunch of people that don't stop for the cops and say, screw you and run. Now, there's going to be the constitutional crazy freedom, whatever they call those people, freedom nationals, who think cops don't have authority over anywhere, and that's good. And people shouldn't stop. We should all run from the cops. Look, I'm just trying to give a reasonable standpoint. If you have a no pursuit policy, once the crooks figure it out, there is no reason to stop. To be honest, if you have a no pursuit policy and I'm speeding and you try to pull me over, I'm going to say I didn't see you. I'm going to keep speeding. See if you're going to chase me. And if you don't chase me, I'm not going to get a ticket. When you reward bad behavior, you encourage bad behavior. So, again, I'm on the fence. Some way I think the pursuit policy is too lax. Some I think is too strict. I don't think it ought to be all or none. I mean, if you got a guy shooting at cops, they're not going to stop chasing him no matter what. They're going to chase him to the ends of the earth, crash. No matter how many people he kills, he could run through a school. They're going to keep chasing him. And I've broken off pursuits because we went in a school area before because there were kids. Did it change anything? Hell no. Just because I turn off my lights, the guy does not slow down. He's still hauling ass. He thinks somebody's in a helicopter. He's paranoid. He thinks the radio got him picked up. He thinks you wrecked and there's going to be someone else. I got to get home. I got to get far away. I got to keep driving like an idiot to get away. So this theory that if cops just shut down their lights, the world will be pink and beautiful and full of flowers and nobody will run, it just isn't the case. People are going to believe what they want to believe. So policy dictates it. Now in California and most states, peace officers, I don't know why they call them peace officers anymore because they're not, they should be tax collector officers, but peace officers have authority throughout the state. Okay, this old TV shit that you cross county lines and the cops have to back away. That doesn't happen in a lot of states. There are some states that have that policy, that if you leave your county, you lose your jurisdictional powers and you can't do anything. That's kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. So, I mean, in California, they'll chase you across. There's no incentive to get to the county line to get away. In places that have a pursuit policy that cops can't trace you across county line, guess what? I'd be doing all my crime within a mile of county line. If I was a crook and I had a car and I knew the policy was you can't chase me across, all my crime would be within a mile of that. Because as soon as I got to go to that county line, it'd be like, guess what? You can't chase me. So that's the problem with these restrictions or government controls, is sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. So a lot of that is kind of deferred to officer discretion. And normally there's a supervisor on the road, and the supervisor can determine whether to terminate or not. Now, if you've got a supervisor that's trying to make rank, he's going to play Mr. Administrator and terminate every stop. SAC PD used to piss me off all the time. They are the most chicken shit, politically correct, ham-tied string, whatever you want to call it. That freaking PD sucks because they are all about PC. They got to hire a chief that's a gay, lesbian, freaking transgender, wannabe, Asian, black male with a, you know, whatever. It has nothing to do with policing in Sacramento. It's all about PC crap. SAC Sheriff, absolute opposite. Great, best agency I've ever worked with. So don't get them confused. SAC PD, SAC Sheriff, two different agencies. SAC PD, no matter what we were chasing a guy for, auto theft, fucking theft of a gun, shit, whatever. SAC PD would be like, supervisor, get on. Terminate pursuit. We don't want to get anybody hurt. Terminate it. And they would just can't because they didn't want to take it. And then if there was a lieutenant on, they were like, wait a minute, I want this continued. He could override the sergeant, but then the sergeant could go, you know what, I said terminate it. Nothing that happens is my fault. I'm the good guy. The people who are making the tough decisions, they're the bad guy if it goes bad. But me, I'm the PC, correct, I terminate it because I'm the good guy, I'm smart. So, policy will dictate it, whatever your pursuit policy is. If you're a cop, if you're in a jurisdiction, you may know. Now, do cops always follow the policy by the letter? You know, policy is a guideline, and they should leave. I never liked, when I was writing policy for use of force, they wanted to put in there, warning shots are not authorized. I didn't want that terminology. I said I wanted to say warning shots are discouraged and are not recommended for these reasons. You know, where a bullet goes, it endangers life, etc. However, they are not prohibited. And the reason I wanted that, because I said there may be a case, and I got caught up in it when those dogs were attacking me, and I fired around on the ground to get the dogs off me. You know, they wanted to go, oh, you fired a warning shot, and the PD was like, you can't do that. And I was like, dude, I ain't in your policy. I don't follow your policy. I follow my agency's policy. My agency says it's discouraged. It's not prohibited. Whoa, we have a city ordinance that says you can't shoot a gun in the city, so we're going to charge you with that. Well, knock yourself out. And I think I did a video on that somewhere. I talked about it in another video. So pursuit policy. Policy is a guideline. How cops are going to get around it are going to be, I thought it was a felony, I thought it was a child in danger, I thought that he was going to hurt, he was fleeing domestic violence, we don't know if the wife's going to die, because in the law, if somebody dies within a year of the crime, it's murder. So a lot of times when you go to a case and you see somebody bleeding or cut up pretty bad, you start working it as a homicide, which is a lot deeper, a lot more critical on everything you do, because if somebody dies, it's a big case, it's harder to prove, you're looking at death penalty, you're looking at a lot of time. You want to make sure all your dots connected. So if you think somebody's going to die, you need to start working that case as a homicide. You can't start working as, yeah, you hit her, it's domestic violence, and write it off, because then if she dies, you've lost a whole bunch of critical stuff to be able to charge him with murder. So, again, cops will be able to modify policy when they're chasing somebody to say, I thought it was this, it could have been this. There's ways to justify what you do to get around policy. I'm not saying it's crooked. We're not paying off policy. Hey man, I want to chase some dude, so here, go along with me, I'm going to pay you. It's not crooked like that. It's just, there's discretion, there's ways that we can justify. Somebody did a meme, I'm going to put it on my Think Like a Horse, or Think Like a Cop Facebook page, where it says, a guy's at the academy and he's standing in front of the troops and he's saying, remember, you're in fear of your safety. You thought you were in danger. You thought you were going to die. If you say those phrases, you could shoot anybody. And I thought it was kind of funny because, in a way, it's kind of true. And, but, anyway, stops. How do we stop pursuits? There are several ways to stop pursuits. You can put out spike strips, you can ram the guy, you can pick the guy, you can wait till they crash, or you can stop chasing them. So those are kind of the ways you stop a pursuit. So, if you're going to use spikes, you have to show that there's a danger to the public, it assumes that the guy's going to do away, etc. If you're going to ram him, A lot of times rammings are done by accident. I'm getting close to the guy, I don't want to get too far. If you get too far in busy traffic, people start losing your lights, you get behind a power curve, and it's very hard to make up that ground. The more cars the suspect gets in between you, the more you have to work around the idiot people that go, oh shit, there's a cop. Oh, they hit their brakes straight in the lane, they try to turn left, they go right, and you're like, shit. So cops tend to stay right on the bad guy. Well, the problem with that, if the bad guy slams on the brakes or make a quick correction, you're going to hit him and ram him. And ramming is normally not authorized by policy. However, if you're trained in the pit, precision, shit, I can't think of it now. Whatever. Police, intervention tactic, I don't know, whatever it stands for. Some fancy terminology. Basically, you're ramming him on the side to make him spin out instead of ramming him from the rear. So, you know, in order to do that, normally they say deadly force has got to be authorized because there's a high probability, remember, definition of deadly force, that action that would cause a reasonable person to believe that seriously bodily injury and or death will result. If you start pitting and ramming people, there's a likelihood that seriously bodily injury or death will result. So obviously you wouldn't be pitting somebody for a speeding violation. Where that gets pushed and where that gets around that is it started as a speeding failure to yield. He's running. It's a minor offense, so I can't do any of these things except maybe stop chasing him. But now he's endangering the public. He ran somebody off the road. He's hit 4 cars. He almost ran a kid over. He's about to head to a school zone, and if he goes to that school zone, he could kill kids. Now, all these things are authorized because now we've upped it to the suspect is going to cause seriously bodily injury and or death. Now, any pursuit pretty much jumps to that standard in my book. If you're running from the cops, there's a likelihood you're going to cause serious bodily injury or death. I think pursuits ought to be stopped pretty stinking quick. And, I mean, just following people, and there's a lot of policy out there, again, it all comes back to this policy. There's a lot of policy out there that says you'll just follow the guy. There's also another policy that if you know who you're chasing and you can ID the person, you need to stop pursuit. This is one time where SAC PD did back me up. I'm chasing a guy on a motorcycle. And we ran a plate and they said, he comes back to so-and-so, we know who the motorcycle belongs to, stop chasing him. I go, I'm working auto theft, this guy probably stole that freaking motorcycle, we've had a lot of vehicles, these probably ain't the guy driving. Well, our policy says that, I said, I don't care, the guy's got a helmet on, I can't ID him, I am not breaking off the pursuit. And of course, there's later about who had jurisdiction and, you know, was I authorized, and I was in their city and I should have listened, but I was working for a state task force that fell under the state highway patrol, so their policy kind of overrides city when they're in there, or city can't tell the state what to do, the state can't come in and really tell the city what to do, so they want people to play nice and be team players, but you know what? I didn't stop chasing the guy ended up wrecking, I ended up chasing, he ended up throwing his helmet at me, he ended up getting away. I got his freaking helmet and he put his thumbprint on it and we were able to pull a thumbprint. We showed up to his house the next day, arrested his ass, but he got away and the motorcycle was stolen. So, I mean, you know, they wanted to just let the guy go. Is a motorcycle going to kill somebody as much as a car? I don't know, if and buts and coconuts, who knows? But it's possible. So, that's when you get in these car chases. Again, you can stop any pursuit by stop chasing. Does that mean a suspect will say, great, they're not chasing me, I guess I can just drive normal? The suspect has already demonstrated he's engaged in criminal activity, he's failing to yield to cops, he's endangering the public, and he's running. And there's administrators out there that sit behind a desk that say, if we just stop chasing him, he won't hurt anybody. How do you know he's not going to ram into somebody and go carjack the next car? You don't, and we can't do things because what we think people might do, but it's reasonable that if somebody's going to go through all that running and chasing and endanger people, they're probably not going to turn around and go to church on Sunday and say, I give up crime, I'm done being a bad guy because they stopped chasing me. It just ain't going to happen unless you're in liberal la la land believing that shit. The risk of any pursuit, obviously you're risking cops. You know, and of course, cops don't matter because they work for the government, they're government property, their cars are government property, the government is self-insured, they got plenty of money, they'll just tax you more. So, cops are really not the issue. Nobody really cares about that because we got a lot of taxpayer money, we can just take more. So, that's really not one. The public is the biggest issue. There's people out there that don't want their family or themselves getting killed, lame, and having their whole freaking life ruined because you're chasing somebody over a freaking speeding ticket. So that's the biggest risk. The risk to the suspect, I'm not too concerned about that. Frankly, I don't really give a shit about a suspect. He's the one running and causing the accident. However, in liberal land, where we gotta love everybody and we gotta protect everybody, even those too stupid to protect themselves, well, you know what? The suspect's life matters, Rick, and we shouldn't be endangering him. And when we chase him, we make the poor, evil criminal do things that he wouldn't have done if the big bad government wasn't chasing him. So, you know, pursuits are one of those things that there's not really a right and wrong answer. Good and bad, just like in everything. I guess that's my spiel. I'll try to answer questions if anybody got anything. Smokey, he's like, I got a no pursuit policy when I'm after mice. I don't stop for nobody or nothing. and Dad's approved that policy. And I'm the administrator of Smokey, so he could chase however long and hard he wants on any mice that run, period. All right, we'll end that there.